In this video, I want to talk about base plates, specifically Lego brand versus the generics. Now, I have three different ones. These are the 16 by 32 base plates. Now, I think this is an important size because this is something that you can't readily get from a Lego store. You do have to order this online, which makes it difficult. And I'm sure a lot of people building out the Lego city is wondering, is there really a difference? Should I save some money, buy the generics versus paying a bit more for the Lego brand? So in this video, I'm going to show you guys the differences so that you can make the right decision. Now, I have three base plates laid out in front of you guys. This is all considered a dark gray, or in terms of Lego, they call it a bluish gray. I'm sure at this distance, it's kind of hard to tell which one is the true Lego and which one are the generics. So to give you guys a clue, hopefully now you could tell. So this is actually the true Lego one, and these are the generics. And if you look up close, they don't have anything printed on there, right? They're kind of just smooth, right? So now the Lego one, I actually purchased off a third party on eBay, and these two I ordered from different manufacturers, different companies on Amazon. And the reason why I went with these two initially was because it's fast and it's cheap. I shop on Amazon all the time, and you can see these on Amazon all the time. And for most casual people that are buying plates for their kids to play around with, it's not a big deal. But when you're involved like me and you're trying to build out a Lego city, then this does become a big deal, and I'll show you why in this video. First of all, looking at the color. So when you put the three together, yeah, you could kind of see some subtle differences, right? You could see the middle one is definitely darker than the Lego one. But then you can see that this one is fairly close, right? It's very close. So if we put it this way, you can see that, yeah, these are, somewhat close. And then this one is much darker. When you don't have these next to each other, you're probably thinking, well, you can't really tell. How you can really tell is when you actually put this next to another Lego base plate, such as one of the road plates, right? So right now, I have this next to a straight road base plate, and you can tell that the colors are identical, right? However, if you put one of the generics, let's start with this one, you could tell right away that it is darker. Now, if you go to the other one that I have, it's even darker, right? So those of you guys that are trying to build out a Lego city and you want the base plates to match in terms of your roads versus any of these that you might be using for anything. Maybe it's for a modular building, maybe it's for some kind of playground or some kind of sidewalk, and you want the colors to be identical, you really have to go with the Lego brand because it is the only one that is going to match identically, like you can see here. All right, so number one is the color. You go have a color difference between the different generic brands and the Lego brand. Besides color, some of you guys might be thinking, well, color's not that important. I'm not going to care that much, especially if I'm tiling over it. You can't really tell from this angle, but let me bring it down for you guys, and hopefully I could capture this. All right, so here's a side view of the base plates. So starting from the left side is the Lego, and you can see that the generic one right next to it, it's slightly higher. We're talking about probably a millimeter difference between the height. However, that does come into play because if you do have tiling next to each other, you will notice a difference. Now, if you move to the other generic over here, you could see that this one is even taller than the middle one. So I purposely selected this order because this one is a little bit better in terms of height, but the color is not. However, if you actually put the one that's much taller next to the Lego one, you can now tell that the height difference is probably 2 millimeter difference. And that is actually pretty high. All right, to give you guys a better example of the height difference, now I have a 2x2 tile on top of each one, right? On the side, you could tell that there is a height difference, but even above, like right here, you can tell that there is a subtle difference between height. So that's another thing that you have to watch out for in terms of generic plates versus the real plates, is that there is a height difference. Now, it is subtle. Okay, again, if you're just giving your kids this, no one is going to care. If you're building out a Lego table with this, it really doesn't matter, because the color difference and the height difference, that is for people that truly care about building a really nice Lego city, right? But this is something I want to bring up. So besides the color, there is a height difference, okay, especially with this generic brand versus this one. Now, I will tell you guys about these brands after the video, but I want to show them to you first. Now, in terms of this one, where I said the height difference was about 1 millimeter, so if you look at it like this, you can tell that it is very similar in height, okay? So even on above here, it's kind of hard to tell that there's a height difference. So in terms of this generic brand, it is definitely much better than this one in terms of height, okay? Unfortunately, the color is more off versus the other one. Now, lastly, I want to show you guys the fit, okay? And this is very important, because this is something that even a lot of moms and dad cares about, because when they mix in the base plates with real Legos, sometimes there's problems with fit, how it doesn't go on, it's hard to snap on. So I want to show you guys real quick. I have with me 3 different things. First, just a 2x4 block, all right? And then I have a 1x4x4 plate, and I have a tile, all right? So this is something that most people would find to being the most important, okay? In terms of, does real Legos fit on these generic base plates? So let's take these tiles out. All right, so looking at this, obviously the Lego one is going to fit really well, right? Lego with Lego, it goes on pretty well. Nice and snug and fairly easy to take off. So now let's try with this one. Definitely takes a lot more pressure to push down and extremely hard to take out. So definitely a much tighter fit. And then on this one, let's see. This one goes in easier. But again, so both, and again, it takes a little bit more effort to take out. So in terms of generic plates, definitely the fit is not as good as the Lego brand in terms of pushing things down. It takes a lot more effort, and taking things off take a lot more effort. Now, let's try with like a regular tile. Goes on fairly easy. Yeah, so in terms of like a tile like this, actually it's pretty good on all of them. But the 2x4 brick, I could definitely tell. Now this, something bigger like this, I think is where you go see the most difference, because a lot of people try to snap on a lot of bigger buildings with plates like this, and people always complain about fit issues. All right, well that one snapped on pretty well. Let's try this one. This one definitely took a bit more pressure to push down and more pressure to take out. And then the Lego, fairly easy, right? So in terms of the fit, actually all 3, I gotta say, is pretty good. I actually expected worse, but they all fit pretty well. Now another test I want to do is how you connect it. Because of the height difference, I'm assuming that you're going to see a difference if the height is too vast. So now these two are about 1 millimeter apart, so I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, but let's try it. Yeah, it snaps on pretty good. When you do snap it on, you do see, yeah, so if you look, there's a slight gap between the plates. It's very slight. However, you know, that might bother some people. All right, so let's try the next one. Oh, pretty hard to snap off there. Let's try the other plate. Now, this one is where it's about a 2 millimeter height difference. Yeah, snaps on. Snaps on. See, this one, yeah, much harder to snap on. Much harder to snap on because of the height difference. And you can tell, let me zoom in. Hopefully you guys can catch that. You can tell that there is a height difference between the two, right? That 2 millimeter is a bit too much. 1 millimeter is really hard to tell. 2 millimeter, you can tell, right? So in terms of this one, the fit, it does snap on. It doesn't like not snap on, but definitely you can tell there's a height difference and a much harder snap, as you guys saw. To conclude, let me share you my thoughts about these three base plates. Obviously, if you're going with the Lego brand, you're not going to have any problems at all, right? The color is going to be perfect. The height is going to be perfect. And any true Lego blocks will fit on as perfectly as possible. The only con to it is the fact that Lego plates cost more. Now, I bought mine on eBay, and you can buy it on Bricklink, but after you calculate the shipping, it's about $3.50 per plate, and it doesn't really get any cheaper than that. So expect to pay about $3.50. Now, this is where the generic plates excel at. Now, one of these generic plates seem to have the height matching closer, which would mean that it fits with the Lego brand much better. However, the color's off. But this comes out to be about $2 a plate. So you're saving roughly $1.50 per plate. The other generic one coming in around $1.75 per plate. But some of you guys might be considering buying this to build out a table or to give to your kids to play, and maybe you don't really care about some of the things I talked about. So I'm gonna put a link for this in the description below, and also where I got my Lego plates in the description below, so that if you guys are interested, definitely take a look. And that's it. And that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you smash up the likes and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be doing more reviews like this in the future, so stay tuned. All right, take care.